product provided by MangaGamer. For more information on this and other MangaGamer products, please visit www.mangagamer.com. But remember, you must be 18. Welcome to Rockin'Jima. This is Umineko When the Seagulls Cry. This is an episodic game. This is the final 4 episodes of the series. I've never actually played a Umineko game before, but I thought I'd cover it anyway. This is the final 4 episodes in the series. So let's just start. You can't just skip episodes. You have to go from the first one. That is loud as hell. I'm really hoping I can change that. The story is very obviously fictional and fantastic in nature. Any resemblance to existing individuals, organizations, locations is entirely coincidental. You know, standard boilerplate disclaimer stuff. Okay, is there really no sound options or anything for this game? No, there's not. That's disappointing. So, you may not know what's going on right now, and that's okay, because neither do I, because, as I've stated, I've never played a Umineko game, but this person is very creepy looking. You idiot. Isn't it obvious? Okay, it might be. It'll be fun to kill her and see your face twist in pain. Why else? Yeah, ha 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 ha. Look, look, don't turn your eyes away. Look at it. Look, look, look. It's magic. It's furniture. No matter how much you try to deny me in magic, look, 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 look. Yeah, ha 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 ha. Sorry, Batlier. It was pretty fun. Sure, I just did what teacher told me. Look how great it turned out. Apparently, if you start out all hostile, needlessly brutal, then turn competent and soft at just the right moment, you can spark a huge bump on your affection meter, right? So this is a remake of an older game. They redid all the sprites and everything for the game. The original sprites look pretty bad, but I mean, it was a sign of the times. The remade sprites look pretty nice. You can actually change that if you want the old sprites. You can change it in the settings, of which there are none. But you can change them in the menu. The music seems nice though. That lonely tone was the desolate sound of the wind blowing by. The glittering rose petals on these bushes were all golden. The cloud of gold butterflies that had once danced through its golden rose garden like fluttering rose petals was no longer anywhere to be seen. The master of the Golden Land is the Golden Witch, Beatrice. She might be called inhumane and cruel, arrogant and outrageous, or perhaps naive and simple. That laugh of hers, which lost its grace more and more the longer it continued, could no longer be heard. The Golden Witch Beatrice sat like a doll, resting in a deck chair adorned as beautifully as the Golden Rose Garden itself. She wasn't relaxing there. Oh no. Her eyes were empty. She didn't respond to any questions. Even so, she was not permitted to sleep. Beatrice sat like a doll. Her hair was down, and Virgilia was carefully tending to it with a comb. The usual Beto would surely have spent time complaining about this and that regarding her hairstyle. However, she made no response, showed no reaction. There is controller support for this game. I'm hitting the A button on the thingy, and it's working. But no, having no volume settings that I can't. I mean, go to system. There's nothing here. Is there really no audio settings? Even the most basic of games have audio settings. That's a huge mark against this game. But I suppose you can turn the volume down. So it really looked like Virgilia was combing the golden hair of a large doll. There was a table alongside them. On it sat a chessboard, along with a jumble of black and white pieces locked in a closely fought battle. However, this setup looked somewhat different from normal chess. Maybe the game was similar, though not identical. And on the other side, sitting back in his chair as he contemplated his next move, was a young man. No, perhaps it wasn't his next move he contemplated. Every once in a while, he would change the positions of the pieces, reconsidering the situation after every change. Maybe he was reconstructing previous games, trying to discover the thought process behind the moves that had been made. In the past, Ginzo, the Yoshiromiya family head, once said that learning chessboard arrangements was like taking a journey through the thoughts of the old masters. Yoshiromiya Battler was on a journey. A search for the thought process that had led the Golden Witch to create this arrangement and make these moves. Battler took a black piece that should have been moved forward and returned it to its original place, sighing deeply. Battler's pieces were white. However, on this chessboard, the black encampment was on Battler's side. He was reconstructing that arrangement, trying to play Beto's role. Well, the more I do this, the less I understand your moves. Even Battler didn't expect that Beto would respond to that statement. Or rather, he was pretending to talk to himself, thinking there might still be some chance of her responding. Beto's eyes reflected nothing, and her mouth told nothing. After begging him to kill her, the Golden Witch had become a corpse that had given up on life. She wasn't sleeping. She couldn't step down from this game and was therefore forbidden sleep. So, those words must have reached her ears. However, they probably hadn't reached her heart. The Golden Witch would not sneer at Battler's moves, nor would she praise them or belittle them. By now, Beatrice was nothing more than a living doll. Even so, she would glance at him every once in a while. It would be an empty glance, but glance nonetheless. Sometimes she would seem to make some sort of gesture, or even move her lips. However, her movements never managed to communicate anything to Battler. How did you decide on this move in this situation? I don't get it at all. I don't understand your moves. Beto. Battler-kun is talking to you. I like that hat. That's a nice hat. Say something. Giggle or guffaw or something. Even use that shrill laugh of yours if you want. Can you believe it? That shrill laugh of Beto's will never be heard again. However, even if she couldn't answer, his voice surely reached her. That was what Battler believed as he said these words. So he said it again. How did you decide on this move in this situation? I don't get it at all. I don't understand your moves. So you don't understand what this child is thinking. Virgilia answered, and her disciple stayed. Up to this point, she had done her best to avoid speaking for Beto. After all, there was a chance that Beto would respond in some way, and Virgilia didn't want to be the one to steal that chance. So Battler was going to have to bear with this silence until Beato herself answered. Virgilia could no longer bear to watch Battler like this. Besides, Battler also wanted to hear what Virgilia had to say. He believed that conversation would reach Beato's heart. Yep. I don't have a clue. The more I try standing in Beato's shoes and moving the pieces like this, the less I understand. A serial murder following an epitaph. With that as a victory condition, I tried reconstructing the games from the witch's side. But I never ended up making the moves Beato did. In those games, I could find several incomprehensible moves that clearly worked against that victory condition. I don't get it at all. This journey through our thoughts is just too rugged. Even so, you won't give up, will you? I won't. I promised. Kill me. Let me die. I promised to let her die peacefully, and I'm the one who could do it. Beato's right ankle was bound with a heavy, cold steel shackle. It wasn't tied to anything, so it didn't restrict her movement. However, it symbolized restriction. It was a visualization of the bonds that prevented her from leaving the game until she either won or lost. And the shackle was probably hurting her. The mercilessly cold shackle tormented her over and over inside her waking dream. So there was never any sign of relief in her empty expression. Her eyelids would sometimes tremble like she was having a nightmare, and every once in a while she would let out a pained gasp. Unless I win, Beato will never be released from the curse that prevents her from sleeping peacefully. Are you sure you want to be doing this? It seems like 5th game has already started. Not interested. Why should I take part in any game unless Beato is my opponent? That's the only alternative. And it's a much better use of my time to reconstruct previous games while taking a journey in search of Beato's thought process. Oh gosh. I'll be the next game master. Any objections? You've got none, right? Right, no objections, okay. I've got nothing but objections. Beato conceded the fight and is unconscious. Isn't this a loss by default and game over for her? I'll admit a lot's happened to Beato, and she's basically been KO'd for now. But that doesn't mean she lost the will to fight. That's why I'm acting as her assistant. Get it? Beato was lying down on a deck chair, almost as though she was sleeping. However, she wasn't sleeping, and she wasn't awake either. She was nothing more than a living doll that had given up on a victory, who had asked Battler to perform her last rites, and who had surrendered everything. Of course, as everyone just sat around, the next game, on the 5th game, would never be made ready. So, Lamb Dead Telta had succeeded Beato as the next game master and announced that she'd prepare the next game. Quit messing around. This is a game between me and Beato. I don't know who you two are, but I'm not going to let you carry on without us. No one asked for your opinion. What do you do, Burn? Accept my challenge or not? Sure. Go ahead and inherit her role. This is a murder mystery game if you haven't figured it out already. The hell? Quit messing around. I don't know who you people are, but I'm not going to let you ignore Beato and me. Just carry on by yourselves. Hey, take it easy. Okay, sure. New player means you'll face new kinds of moves. I'm sure you'll see a lot of stuff that confuses you, but even that might lead to some big hints. Get it? Who cares? Quit saying whatever you want, deciding everything on your own. Beato's game has repeated 4 times, and you still don't understand anything, right? In that case, I expect that swapping out opponents might lead to some huge hints. That's none of your business. This is our game. Beta prepared it, and she designated me to be her opponent. I don't know what hole you two crept out of, but I don't want you screwing things up. In that case, wake Beto up and make her get the next game ready. Can you? Beto won't be getting up for a while. Anyway, we don't even need to have another game. The 4 games she already laid out are more than enough. And even if we do have some 5th game, there's no reason it shouldn't be just a puzzle Beto lays out and I take on. There's absolutely no reason for you two to butt in. Battler couldn't hide his irritation at the 2 witches called Lamba Delta and Berncastle. Lamb de Delta and Berncastle, who had shown up well after the game started and who were now trying to take charge on their own. It looked like these witches were of an even higher rank than Beto. So high, in fact, that even Beto's teacher, Virgilia, couldn't even come close. Battler had the feeling he'd seen these two several times before. However, this was the first time he'd known their names and spoken to them directly. You can't get the next game ready without waking Beto. That's why I'll prepare the next game. We aren't so patient that we're willing to wait forever for Beto to regain consciousness. Right, Bern? I don't like boredom. It really ticks me off. We really don't give a damn whether you're bored or not. Come on now. Leave everything to this perfect Lamb de Delta Sama, okay? I'll take over as the game master. Don't worry. I won't play too much absolute perfection. Just like Beto, I'll set up plenty of incomprehensible fakes, clues, and bonus hints. I'll make this game a huge hint that'll help you understand Beto's world even better, okay? That's creepy. Letting my voiceless emotions explode, I slammed the table hard. The 2 witches didn't flinch at all. One even grinned. The other looked indifferent, as though nothing had happened. The 2 of them just stared at me silently, as though they were reproaching me. What's this? Not satisfied. Are you saying you'll step down from my 5th game? Isn't that a loss by default? Powder won't step down. Of course he'll participate in the 5th game. Don't just decide that yourself. I'm not gonna play along with you two. I don't give a shit. Then it really is a loss by default, right? The witch side wins the game. Is it really okay to end this with humans surrendering? If you step down, the game will end with your loss by default, get it? If you want to guarantee that your lonely sister always meets with miserable circumstances in an endless number of worlds, that option is indeed open to you. When Berncastle mentioned Anji, Battler's expression changed instantly. You bastard! Don't you dare talk about Angie so lightly. Because you have an ally in me, Berncastle, the Witch of Miracles. There exists the possibility of a miracle in which Angie's family comes home to her. Well, if you do throw that chance away and guarantee that Angie's endless futures all end in sorrow, well, that might be pretty interesting too. I vaguely understood what she was saying. Until I win in Beto's game, I'll remain trapped in this bizarre world. And if I abandon that victory, then most certainly my parents and I will never return to Angie. For Angie's sake, even though I know that the witches are toying with me, I must keep on fighting. Damn it! What's wrong? You look unsatisfied. Have you already forgotten how angry you were when your sister was turned to mincemeat? You know, that spectacle where she was torn to bits, ripped to pieces by countless red-hot pliers? You better watch more closely next time, okay? Berncastle pointed the palm of her right hand upwards. As she did, a pale light gathered there, and some kind of blue, glowy crystal appeared there. A scene was reflected on its sharp surface. But it wasn't the scene that surrounded them now. If you look deep into that crystal, that fragment, then you would probably learn what was reflected on there. If you stared at it, then you'd surely see the end Angie finally reached, after waiting 12 years and giving up everything for the sake of her beloved brother. The scene of her death throes, as her entire body was torn to bits while she still lived. Damn you! Without thinking, he grabbed at her collar, but as soon as he touched that which made it up from her form, it disappeared like foam on the waves. Then, as naturally as though she'd been there from the beginning, Berncastle was leaning against a distant wall. If you step down from the game, this will become not just a fragment, but a definite reality. I won't be the one to create that future. You'll do it yourself. So decide, okay? Figure out what you want to do with your beloved sister's future. Battler's fist shook with anger, but even if he swung them down, he wouldn't be able to hit Berncastle. This witch was like a phantom, or a cat who wouldn't even let someone pet her as if she didn't wish for it. And she was telling the truth. For Angie's sake, I can't step down from this fight, even if these unpleasant witches hijack the game board. That's just like you, Bern. You're even heartless when you threaten people. That's how it is, Battler. You aren't allowed to step down from this game board. You and Beto are nothing more than pieces on the board that exist to distract us from our boredom. Even your incomprehensible anger and irritation make for a wonderful treat to satisfy us. Well, what you're doing now only makes for a cheap snack, though. Like those curry-flavored potato wafers that sell for 30 yen a pair. Damn witches! Fight for Angie's sake, okay? And for Beto's too, right? In a way that was admonishing, or perhaps babying. Like the headache you get after eating something too sweet. Berncastle tormented Battler and smiled. By now, the host of this tea party, Beto, was absent. The guest witches were already making themselves at home. What'll you do, Ishiromiya Battler? Will you surrender to fate? Just step down. You've had enough of being toyed with as a witch's piece, right? Sure is tough being one of Bern's pieces. I'm sure she'll use you and throw you away just like she did it with Angie. I'm not giving you the option of stepping down. Keep fighting for the sake of your sister's future. I'm your ally. Until you win, I'll support you so you can reach that future. For all eternity until I get bored. I can't let her provocation and cajolery rile me up. These witches know I get mad easily. And they're trying to take advantage of that. Battler withstood it all, and finally relaxed his clenched fists. If you want to start this 5th game of yours, go ahead and do it. Do whatever you want. Yes, I will do whatever I want. Hey, where are you going? Even though Battler acknowledged the 5th game, he turned his back on them. Much to Lambda de Delta's surprise. If you're going to be Beto's substitute, then I'm sure that Berncastle witch over there can stand in for me if she wants. Not a bad idea. Better than a loss by default. What the heck? Are you gonna just ignore this episode 5 that I put so much effort into making? Rude! Battler says he's going to take a break for a while. Until he comes back, I'll be his substitute. How's that sound, Battler? You do that. What's wrong, Lambda? So you'll refuse to play if it's against me, said that fool Battler. Of course not. I'm glad I get to play with you, Bern. Come on, let's play, let's play. Let's play together in Lambda Delta Sama's Super Hyper and Cute Episode 5. This technically is a word Beto created. A world Beto created. You aren't going to ruin the atmosphere of the story, are you? I already did. Don't worry about that. I'm really good at reading between the lines for that sort of stuff. I made sure to use Beto-ish atmosphere to make a tale that's even more interesting. Battler, make sure you come back as soon as your break's over, okay? It'll be a shame to miss this. I've set up plenty of bonus hints that'll get you closer to Beto's secrets. Or at least that's what it'll look like when it's actually filled with misdirection that makes stuff more and more confusing. Wait, hey, Battler! Aren't you listening when a witch is talking? Without answering, Battler disappeared into the darkness. After shrugging and cackling, the witches immediately started playing the game board they had stolen from Beto. Can those witches really understand Beto's game? Since they're using the same game board, they cannot do anything this child cannot do. However, they can do things that this child wouldn't do. What do you mean, things she wouldn't do? The materials of chess exist so that you can play chess. You cannot use them to play cards. However, when it comes to throwing chess pieces at your opponent and scribbling on the board, such things are not impossible to do. However, that would be blasphemy against the game of chess. So people choose not to do that. That definitely wouldn't be chess anymore. Beto's eyes seem to cloud slightly with sadness. Damn them. This game's between me and Beto. I won't let anyone else defile it. At the time, gold butterflies gathered and Ronavone appeared holding a tea set with black tea. Would you like some more tea? If you wouldn't mind. Certainly. So, how goes this journey of yours in search of Milady's thoughts? I don't have a clue, but I'm enjoying it. However, are you sure about this? Is it truly alright for you to relax here? You mean that game those witches just started all by themselves? Indeed. Just now when I went to serve them some tea, the murderers of that final twilight had already taken place. And it seems as though the next murder will occur shortly. When Beto and I were playing, the game would be paused whenever someone left their seats. However, those witches wouldn't pause the game just because I wasn't around. One of them, did you see their game? Just a part of it. How was it? One of them lifted the pot high with an elegant gesture as he poured the black tea. After finishing that, he finally spoke. He gave us his impressions of it. It did not have love. What do you mean, love? My apologies. That is how a woman might put it. As a man, one might call it dishonorable. I understood what those words meant. When I met Virgilia's eyes, she shook her head slightly and stared at the floor. I believe it resembles Milady's games greatly on the surface. However, its foundation is quite different. Does it go against the rules of Beto's game? No, it does not. Lambda Delta Sama actually does understand the rules of Milady's game very well. However, Battler stood up. There was no need to make Ronavone say any more. Battler-kun. Sorry, Ronavone. I know you went to all the trouble of pouring this for me, but tea isn't what I need. So, you will go after all? Yeah. We don't need any outsiders in our game. These guys weren't even here in the beginning. Because I've been loafing about, crazier and crazier witches have been introduced. And now they've hijacked this game between me and Beatrice. I've got to take it back. Right now I'm supposed to be the one taking care of Beto's game board. That means I can't just sit around here. Thank you. I want to let this child hear those words. I'm sure she hears them. My lady is simply unable to answer. Beto lay there silently like a living doll with dull eyes. The game board she had created herself had been hijacked by incomprehensible people and was being turned into a mess. If I was designated to be her opponent, then Beto must have created this game for me. I've got to take it back. Wait here. I'll go and take it back. Of course, Beto did not respond in any way. That's right. If she can't respond, then I have to protect it in her place. I'll be right back. Virgilia, Renove, I'm counting on you two to look after this golden sleeping beauty. Yes, leave it to us. See you later, Battler-kun. And please, in the game without this child, try to find some part of her. If you can. And even if this child is absent, it will mean you are far with her. You're right. Ah. It's all useless. What am I doing? Let's go. And let's take it back. Sorry to keep you waiting, witches. My break is over. When he faced the jet black heavens and yelled this, the whole world shattered as though it were made out of thin glass. Then, as though it had been that way since the beginning, it transformed into that smoking room where Battler had fought Beto so many times, and which the two witches had now hijacked. What do you think you're doing? You're only coming back now? It's way too late. Not only has the game reached the second day, it's already at the finale, get it? You never showed up, so I just advanced things on my own. Yeah, like you even waited for me in the first place. Bren was way more skillful in throwing than you were, right? Shut up. I'm the player. You substitute witches can just take a step back now. Well, I don't really mind if you join us starting now, but there's probably no need for you anymore. Seriously. After all, we're already at the climax. After this, Bren will probably corner me and win. What the hell? Nothing wrong with that, is there? Why don't we let him watch the final endgame? Of course. Come on over, Yushiromiya Battler. It's almost completely over, but here's the cute and elegant game I made. Episode 5. End of the Golden Witch.